Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Muslim teenagers have to deal with quite a lot nowadays. What do I mean by that? Well, when they are in high school and college, they will be given a number of different ideas to think about. For example, they will learn about atheism, they will learn about secularism, feminism, and then, as you know, there's the whole LGBTQI plus lifestyle choices that are offered to them. And the way that these ideas are presented is in a very appealing manner, and it's seen that this is something, if you adopt these ideas and this lifestyle, this will be good for you. Whereas when you hold on to your religion, that is viewed as something quite backward. It's holding you back from achieving your dreams and your autonomy, and it's limiting your choices. So what we need to realize is, as mothers and fathers of our daughters, they are getting conflicting ideas when they go to college, when they go to high school, and also, as you know, in popular culture. And I don't think I'm telling you something new here. You are very aware of the mental conflict that is happening amongst our daughters, that they are being asked to choose between their Islam or their freedom, basically, or their happiness. That's the way it's being offered to them. And this is a very difficult choice for them to make, because when you have so many voices that are pushing a very particular progressive liberal viewpoint to you, it's hard to not be taken in by that. And I don't think we should be so hard on our daughters when they make mistakes. And so this is something that, as a author and as a podcaster, I've had emails and messages from parents, mothers mainly, who they don't understand what's going on. And I don't blame parents for not knowing what's gone on. That when 20 years ago, when they were teenagers, they didn't have to deal with this very aggressive propaganda against Islam, and then pushing this idea that you need to really let go of your religion and you need to be so much more in charge of your life choices, and somehow your religious parents or your cult community or Muslim community and the values that are being offered to you there are not the best. We didn't even really question our belief in God, our belief in the Quran, our practices such as wearing the hijab. Maybe many of us didn't even wear it when we were teenagers, but we didn't question the need for it, the fact that we should wear it. So the first thing that you need to realize is the pressure that your daughter is under, especially if they're living in the West. But I would say globally, these ideas are becoming more prevalent, and as I've said before, whether it's through music, shows, movies, that popular culture is everywhere now. It's insidious, and it's very easily absorbed through social media, as you know. So as a parent, be aware of that what the environment that your daughter is growing up in and the society is very different to what you were growing up in. And so therefore, what you then need to think, and this is where I want to help, and as a mother of a teenage daughter and having relatives who are teenagers, I'm very aware of what's happening. And also I was a high school teacher. I taught a lot in girls' school. So we have options here that either we can ignore this, and the fact that you're watching this video, it shows that you don't want to ignore it. You want to do something, and that's a good thing, because as a parent, and whether you could be an auntie even, or any relative of a teenage girl, you could be looking at what's happening and thinking that why is it that my niece or daughter is questioning her faith maybe, or doesn't want to follow Islam? Where is this coming from? Where are these doubts coming from? And we need to understand that teaching our kids Islam is so important. And I think when they're young, we do that very well. But there seems to be a point where, usually once they attend high school and college, where academic success seems to take over, and we will emphasize that. And we're not teaching them enough about continued learning about Islam, like a deeper understanding, but also addressing these other ideas that I've mentioned. So that would be becoming secular. Feminism is another that has is now monopoly on women's rights now, and girls are expected to be feminists. It's seen as the natural thing. And then you have, like I said, the LGBTQ lifestyle, that there's nothing wrong with that. It's, love is love. We should be more tolerant. They are a minority and are discriminated against, and so are we. So there seems to be this allyship and friendship that is formed, especially amongst young girls. And if you look at the way that when you see posters about LGBTQ and women's rights, Muslim women are used in those images, and it is to win them over. So it isn't something that's just happening by coincidence. It is something that is planned. So therefore, the question is, just saying to our teenage daughters, this is haram, that isn't enough. We need to realize that. We need to actually understand, as parents, we need to understand these ideas ourselves. Now, I know that is something that you may not have the time to do, to study it, to learn about it, and then explain it, to understand the ins and outs. That's not an easy task. I appreciate that. But now this is where I come into it, that as a teacher and someone who reads about this subject to be honest, as a pastime, and it's something I find so interesting, the societal changes that are happening in the Muslim community and the challenges women and young women face. That is something that I've been doing for the past 10 years. And it's led me to actually realize that we need more literature, we need more videos, we need more content about this. And so it's not just about saying these choices are haram or these ideas are wrong. That's not enough. It's explaining to the teenagers in particular, what is the alternative to that? Does Islam have an alternative? Why is that alternative better? And that is something that we need to have material and content that teenagers can access, because when a parent says it to them, that will be one voice. But as we know, teenagers don't always want to listen to their parents. So there need to be a book in particular, and that's what I've written, that they can read and understand, okay, if we go beyond the slogans, go beyond the the propaganda really about these ideas, that what's the actual lived reality for young women? How does it affect their mental health? How is it affecting their well-being? How is it affecting the women who've chosen to go down that path? Have they regretted it? And really having facts and information that our daughters can read and think about. Because as you know, there's so much fake news about these lifestyles that you only see people who have a particular agenda and who have made those choices. They want other people to take those on those ideas as well. And it'll be non-Muslims, but you now have Muslims who are propagating these ideas and really convincing our daughters that, you should make these choices as well. Now, that's what needs to be questioned, I think. And mashallah, our girls are intelligent, and if we have raised them to be thinkers, to question, they question Islam, they're encouraged to question Islam. And what I want to do is turn the table and say, no, why don't we question what we are being offered, what you are being offered as an alternative lifestyle to Islam? That this idea that Islam is holding you back, that your life is miserable because of religion, we need to get our daughters to think and question that rather than just accept that. So we have a part to play in that. And the part is to, as I've just said, is to encourage them to think. I will, there's so much more to say about this regarding, how you parent your teenage daughters. And that's something I will discuss in future videos and podcasts. But I think what I came to realize was that if we need to give our daughters the tools to understand the world they're living in. And today it's the LGBTQ agenda. Tomorrow it could be something else. You have the whole questioning of, what is a woman? Who would have thought 20 years ago anyone would even ask that question? But what we need to realize is that if we give our daughters the tools to understand what's happening in the world, and with the Islamic perspective on that, when something new happens, they'll also be able to deal with that, inshallah. And so therefore, I am in the process of writing a book. It's called Smart Teenage Muslimah. As many of you know, I've written a book called Smart Single Muslimah, and that's regarding why Muslim women are finding it difficult to get married. But whilst researching that, I took a step back and started to look at the lifestyle of teenagers in the West, and how, as Muslims, we mustn't think that our daughters are immune to the effects. What affects wider society affects our girls as well. And so therefore I wanted, in my new book, Smart Teenage Muslimah, I am addressing the issues that they will face. So questioning their belief in Allah, why they should believe that the Quran is a miracle from our Creator, more societal issues like pornography, sexual harassment, what is when it comes to feminism, what exactly is being offered here to them, and should they adopt it? So there's so many ideas I have for this book, and it is really based on the research I've done, having taught girls at high school, and also the questions that parents send to me about their daughters, that they are very concerned. And so this will be a book. It's not for the parent, it's for you to give to your daughter. So now, some of the chapters she may be interested in, some she may not. But if it just starts her thinking, that's a good thing. If it gets her to question choices that she is making, that is the beginning, because we really need that. And I think as parents, it's interesting. I bought a number of teenage advice books, just your average ones written by non-Muslims, and I was shocked by the advice that they were giving. It all was emphasizing how it's like they must become independent from their parents. So they don't need to follow what their parents have taught them. They need to find their own way. They need to, and that would be as far as their work, studies, and even sexually, as far as morally. And I was quite surprised at how the role of parents was so low down. It's as if they had to become this free, independent, no strings attached person that they can then move out of their home. And I thought that is so different to how we view our family, and the love and the care and the kindness and the protection that we want to give our daughters. And I just thought, for a Muslim parent, what is there out there that if they wanted to give their daughter a book to help them with, their mental health or their confidence, if they gave their child that book, it would pretty much make them reject so many Islamic values and principles. And I thought, this is really bad. We need to have a book that, a parent could give to their daughter. And so that is what I, inshallah, I'm in the process of writing. And I sincerely request your du'as that you can, because that's the most precious thing you can give me, to help me be able to complete this book and make sure that it's grounded in Islam, that it gives the advice that girls need. And so, inshallah, please, so I'm requesting your du'as sincerely. And also to publishing, it takes money, takes time. And I don't know if you're aware, my health isn't great. I am recovering from cancer at the moment, but that's not stopping me. Alhamdulillah, Allah has given me the strength to write so far, and I will continue. But if you would like to, and I would greatly appreciate your help, I have a Patreon page that you can, as little or as much as you want to contribute to my Patreon page. The link is in the description. And I also have a Launch Good page where I am, people have been donating money to help me publish this book. So inshallah, I hope that you can understand the need for this book. And I think a lot of parents do feel the need, that on Twitter and on other platforms, when I've asked people about this, they have said, yeah, this would really help. I would love to have a book I can give to my daughter that addresses contemporary issues, and not in a judgmental, not in a patronizing way, but treats them like a mature, confident Muslimah, and help them achieve becoming that, because that's what we want ultimately, because we want our daughters to attain Jannah, and at the moment it just seems so, as a parent, everything we want to do for our Muslim daughters, society is saying the opposite. It is a real struggle, and I have felt it, and I know many parents feel it. And so I think if we can help and support each other to give our daughters, the knowledge and the confidence that they need. And they need to just keep hearing this message from different voices, and so that it becomes, it drowns out the lies that they are told. And inshallah, so that is inshallah what I hope to achieve. So I will be putting future videos up about this topic. So if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, please do so. You can also get further information from my website, smartmuslimah.com. Inshallah, take care. Assalamu alaikum.